Hey IOTA fam, IOTA Poet here with a new video. Let me tell you the news that has just dropped. Wow. That's all I can say. I cannot believe it. This changes everything about IOTA. Confused? Don't worry, I'll discuss the latest news and any thoughts in this video, so stay tuned. To help get this news out there, make sure to smash the like button, and if you haven't subscribed already, what are you playing at? All the cool kids IOTA Poet subscribers. So let's be having you tickle that subscribe button. If you missed the recent announcements and are wondering what the flip this video is about, don't worry, I got you. Here is a very quick summary of what the IF have announced. Number 1. The IF is doubling down on the IOTA brand and Layer 1 smart contracts. Number 2. This means assembly is gone. Bye bye. Number 3. The IF will introduce inflation.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
That's right, inflation to our beloved fixed supplied IOTA. Number 4. There'll be a new ecosystem war chest raised from this new supply from the inflation. I'm going to go through each of the points and give my thoughts. Just to clarify, I'm not trying to tell people to stick with IOTA or to sell. Ultimately, that is a personal decision for you to make. Okay, so let's get into it. The focus on the IOTA brand and Layer 1 smart contracts. Look, I'm sure there are going to be some angry community members right now. There'll be people straight up baying for blood in the Discord. I have no doubt about that.
I won it! You're trespassing on my property! You didn't win in my yard!
Wait.
All of you!
Daddy, chill.
What the hell is even that?
But I just want to touch upon a key part of the announcement that I believe is a huge positive. The IF are doubling down on the IOTA mainnet. Over the last 2 years, there's been some big and exciting developments with Shimmer and Assembly. Assembly was going to be the Layer 2 DeFi solution on IOTA, but it all started to get a bit confusing. How was the IOTA mainnet going to fit into the future of the IOTA ecosystem when there was going to be 2 other IOTA-based chains? But let's be real, IOTA's usability was about to get majorly diluted, and likely its value would follow suit. So much so, I've seen diehard holders selling IOTA tokens for Shimmer. So the IF's announcement to go balls deep on IOTA's mainnet and bring the focus back to its roots, for me is super bullish for the IOTA token. For the vast majority of us, the IOTA mainnet is why we are here. To see smart contracts in the Layer 1 get expedited and pushed onto the mainnet sooner, for me is absolutely fantastic news, spiffingly good. The block space demand on the Layer 1 will skyrocket. There'll be smart contracts, asset tokenization, and IOTA chain anchoring from the Layer 2s. There'll be much more demand for the IOTA token, and let's not forget, this will increase the demand for mana significantly. This is what we all wanted 2 years ago, so this is great. This does mean Shimmer will likely take a bit more of a backseat again, with the IOTA mainnet being the main thriving hub, even for DeFi. Shimmer was and still is to be the staging network, like Kusama is for DOT. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that evolves as well in light of this decision. So, is this the right decision? Well, for me, focusing on the IOTA brand is 100% the right decision. IOTA need to compete and it needs to catch up fast. Trying to release effectively 3 DeFi chains at once, 2 with new branding, would be so hard and spread the community and the IF thin. Of course, Shimmer is still going to get all the IOTA upgrades first, so still has a big role to play in the ecosystem. But IOTA is set to be the top dog again. I have no more knowledge on the UAE and EBC than you, but it really wouldn't surprise me if they require smart contracts on the IOTA mainnet fast, which is probably one of the reasons behind this decision. In summary, this part of the decision was great news for IOTA hodlers. Let's move on to the second announcement from the IOTA Foundation. So, as part of focusing on smart contracts on Layer 1, and IOTA Chains as it's called, the IF have decided to scrap Assembly, which if you remember was a layer 2 DeFi solution. Now, I know this is a huge announcement and where things really start to get controversial. Many IOTA holders have been staking the IOTA for ASMB for over a year. Knowing the community, this will leave a sour taste in many mouths. There's no doubt in that. That said, all is not lost. From what I understand, Assembly holders will instead receive an airdrop of more IOTA tokens, increasing your stake in the IOTA mainnet. I would argue that receiving well-established IOTA tokens are likely to have more value than a layer 2 token that currently doesn't even exist. So this may even end up being a net positive for the stakers. That said, the IF need to make sure the community is adequately compensated with IOTA tokens to make up on missing out on Assembly. This remains to be seen how this will be rolled out, so let's see. I believe new partners are interested in getting involved in the IOTA 2.0, and the airdrop gives them a great opportunity to do so. So this could bring new partners and whales to the ecosystem. So is this the right decision? Good question. Me, undoubtedly yes. To be honest, I never liked the idea of Assembly. It would have undermined the mainnet tokens, and it would have also undermined Mana, as it would have moved traffic away and utility from the layer 1 mainnet. Also, Assembly technology just undermined the whole DAG architecture. Unlike blockchains, IOTA's layer 1 DAG is designed to be highly scalable in and of itself, and shouldn't require all these different layer 2 solutions just to scale. This is the whole point of parallel scalability. Whilst all the other blockchains are worrying about layer 2s and bridges, IOTA should be showing that DAGs and powerful layer 1s are still the solution. So for me, Assembly made little sense economically or technology wise, and would just cannibalize IOTA. And I'm not alone in this. There was even an internal split within the IF, with top talents such as Hans vouching for a one token policy, one token to rule them all. Whilst this is a bullish decision long term, there's certainly some valid questions of why the IF thought Assembly was a good idea in the first place, and how Assembly stakers will be adequately compensated. In any case, just on the initial information I've received, I'm giving it a tick for now. Okay, now time for the most controversial decision: to increase the fixed supply of IOTA to create a new ecosystem fund. Yes, this is truly controversial decision, and one that may be a nightmare scenario for some. So there's likely going to be a lot of FUD on this one, so let's get the facts straight. IOTA's current supply is circa 2.8 billion. There'll be a hard fork of IOTA with a new bi-weekly token release schedule that will last for 4 years. After 4 years, the max supply will be reached. This new max total supply will equal 4.6 billion tokens, an overall increase in supply of around 40%. This means the supply will increase on average 10 to 12% each year for the next 4 years. Why are they doing this, I hear you ask? Well, the IF need further funding to survive. The tokens are issued to a new dedicated ecosystem fund to support the growth and further development of IOTA to realize its vision. As some of you may be aware, the IF are running low on funds. These days, new DeFi protocols keep 60 to 100% of the token supply upon inception. Back in 2015, when things were very different in this space, the IF didn't do this. It gave 100% of the supply to the community. A truly fair distribution, and we loved IOTA for it. In the end, they did raise treasury funds of 500,000 from donations. From this mere 500,000 and other organic revenue streams such as EU grants, the IF have managed to survive for the past 6 to 7 years. But it appears it's now starting to struggle, and it's especially starting to struggle to compete with a limited war chest. It's treading water. Projects like Matic, Solana, Avalanche, etc. have hundreds of millions in funds to grow their ecosystem, and yet the IF probably only have a few million to rub together. Hell, Solana just released a bloody shoe. By the way, that looked absolutely terrible, but that's for another video. The truth is, the IF just can't compete. Hence why IOTA is dropping down the ranks massively in the last 2 to 3 years. If you had asked me a year or two ago what I would have done with this announcement, I'll be frank with you, I would have straight up left IOTA. So anyone who's angry, I get it, trust me. My bags are taking a hit as well. I'm going to try and pick out some positives in a second, but first I do want to go into a bit more of bearish sentiment. I mean, let's be real, this is a really shit situation that could potentially destroy IOTA. Printing IOTA and pumping the supply 6 to 7 years into the network goes against the very ethos of crypto here. Ideologically, to change the supply of what is meant to be an immutable blockchain is up there, if not the most incomprehensible thing to do with crypto, you know? If there ever is a stark signal that the IF have failed in some way over the last couple of years, this is the moment here, when the only solution is to pump the supply. Probably somewhat rightfully, IOTA is going to get absolutely destroyed by the wider crypto community. If you thought the FUD was bad before, just wait until you see the reaction of the wider community on this. It's going to be pretty negative. Look at it this way, imagine if Solana, ETH or Bitcoin did this. We would rightfully laugh at them at how ridiculous a decision it is. And it's a bit of a slippery slope argument. You know, people will argue, well, if they've done it once, why can't they do it again in the future? What happens if the IF need money in 3 to 4 years' time again? Will they just hard fork again and pump the supply? Of course, IOTA and the IF, should I say, will argue that, you know, it's not going to happen again. It's a one-time thing to get money. But once you do something like this in crypto, the trust irreparably damaged in some way. Even if they can gain a lot of it back and go on to do great things, there's always going to be that cloud over the head now of, will they pump the supply again? You're never going to be quite sure if your tokens are going to get inflated even more in 10 years time, etc. And another point that's actually just come to me is now it's going to be so much harder to reach the all-time high again of $5, because now there's going to be a lot more coins on the market to reach that point, and we're going to see that over a lot of cryptos that are inflating the stock. It's going to be harder and harder to reach that all-time high, because the supply is so much bigger in 4 years time when the bull run comes round. And I know I'm going on a bit of a negative rant here, but hear me out. And another thing is, during the last bull run, they held all their funds in the IOTA token, a super volatile asset. Again, I mean, simple financial literacy would say, you know, this is an organization that hundreds of people wages rely on. You know, it still shocked me that they didn't at least keep, you know, most of their treasury in Tether or some sort of stable coin to at least guarantee their future earnings, because everyone knows crypto goes up every 4 years. It goes up, then it goes down. So actually, I think that's probably, forget about all the other stuff, that's probably the biggest decision that screwed IOTA over. At the top, if they sold at $2 or whatever it was last bull run, they'd be sitting pretty right now. They'd be like Avalanche of 100 million, and they wouldn't have to worry about all these different hard decisions that they're going to have to make, that they have made over the last year, that they're going to have to make. You know, they released assembly, they got rid of it. They're now having to pump the supply. And it all comes back to poor treasury management and not having revenue streams. But yeah, as I said, it's been a catalogue of errors that's got them to this point, and now the chickens have come home to roost for the IF, unfortunately, and now the community is going to have to take a big hit. The IF have been trying to work out ways how not to hit the community, but this is the point they've reached now. And that's why it's a shit situation, and that's why when this news gets out to the wider community, there's going to be hell to pay, unfortunately, for IOTA. And the fact of the matter is, because of this one decision to pump the supply, there's going to be a lot of people in the crypto space who will never touch IOTA again. Maybe even some IOTA holders will sell, but I'll tell you what, even in the wider space, there's going to be a lot of people just who won't touch it, because this has to go into analysis, of course. What's the supply of the token? Okay. Oh wait, it used to be this supply, but it's been pumped 40%. Who's to say that won't happen again, as I said earlier? So yeah, this is going to put a lot of people off IOTA, and it's going to be a dark cloud over IOTA for a long time, unfortunately. And that's just the way it is. I'm sure there will be a lot of people who'd rather just see IOTA cease to exist than to pump the supply. Because as I said, it goes against the whole ethos of crypto. So I think it's pretty clear that I don't like the decision. But let me just step into the IF shoes now and think, why would they do this? We as IOTA holders want to see IOTA back in the top 20, right? And this isn't going to happen by magic. Something needs to give, and it needs to be something big. We can't keep on the same trajectory, or we'll just end up another nano. Basically, a flash in the pan. We can't do this without resources and firepower. So I can actually see the IF's rationale here. I think many OG holders and some new holders come from the early days of crypto, where we have this very ideologically pure vision for IOTA, this grassroots movement, a cry against the establishment to bring equality and ease of access to all. A fearless, fairly distributed, environmentally friendly financial ecosystem. Guys, I sit here in 2023 and tell you, this vision isn't possible. The game has changed, and crypto is no longer this cyberpunk world. It's a capitalist playground. Anyone who can't see that is blind or fooling themselves. The VCs are in the room with us, and they have been for many years. We either play the game or get left behind, which is what has been happening the last few years. I don't know about you, but I'm absolutely sick of sitting outside the top 50, let alone the top 70. IOTA cannot be a leader in the market without more funds. And this is the IF trying to get more funds. The IF are trying to mitigate the impact. The tokens won't be dumped on the market immediately, obviously. They'll be kept in the ecosystem fund, vested and released slowly over 4 years. Of course, the IF need to be very transparent with how these funds are spent, with a clear roadmap. We don't want any risks of rug pulls. The neat thing is the increase in the tokens will naturally increase IOTA's market cap. So yes, it may actually move up quicker in the ranks than you think. Further, holding IOTA tokens will help the IF generate mana, which actually means a further revenue stream for the IF. That said, there's no denying our IOTA tokens are about to get diluted, and no one wants to see inflation. So it is a shitty situation to be in. So, is this the right decision? To be honest, I don't think I can answer this right now. For me, it remains to be seen how the IF structured this process and how quickly it is rolled out. As this is a hard fork, there is the technical implementation. This needs to be rolled out quickly. We cannot be sitting here in a year's time without the upgrade being made. As IOTA holder, my bags will be hit as well. But I am actually bullish to see that the IF will now have a lot more funds to compete. There's going to be a lot more investment in dApps and the ecosystem. So let's see what the IF can cook up behind the scenes. For me, even though it pains me to say it, this could work out in the long run. Of course, we hope some billionaire just pumps billions of dollars into IOTA. But of course, in reality, this just won't happen. The IF unload the funds, and they just need to do something to survive. However, as this just been announced, I'm sure there are going to be good arguments on both sides of the fence in the coming days, and I look forward to seeing the debate. So there we have it, guys, potentially the biggest announcement in IOTA's history. What are your thoughts? Drop your comments below. I love to gauge the community's reaction, and whilst you're here, do me a favour and smash that like and subscribe button if you haven't already. That's all for this week, and I'll see you in the next one.